Okay, so I was saying that I had this vision of myself, and not where I was at a body looking back, but that I was in my body and seeing myself in my mind's eye ahead. And I was so unto myself. And, you know, all this body work that I'm doing is really changing the structure of my legs, which is a big part of, you know, like if I have a body hang up, it's my legs. And,
wow. I had no idea.
Yeah. And because my glutes and my quads don't engage properly. So I have very natural muscle tone in from head to toe, except my quads and my butt. And that has created this thing with my knees.
Oh, right. The knees. I forgot. We talked about that.
Yeah, the knees and all that. So what's happening is it's like my skeleton is getting in its proper structure, and the muscles are going to be able to work properly. And it's almost like I'll be sort of like lifted up the way you're supposed to be, that the inside, the interior will be lifting up like it should, which then draws the other stuff sort of around and back and in like it's supposed to. So it's almost like my legs are getting put back into place, and it elevates me. Yeah. And at the same time, I'm learning how to use my pelvic floor to feel it and move it. And I'm I'm clearing all the somatic memory of the various abuses and misuses and stuff of my past. And so so like I saw myself, I looked like a bit taller, a bit more slender, sort of tan, like muscles a bit tighter, but kind of what this like slight adjustment is that we're talking about. But so unto myself. I just can't describe it. Like, it's almost when I think of it. So two things come to my mind when I think about it now. One is all the energy leaking that happens, like something splayed out, and then when it's turned in and sucked up, and then it's feeding the nervous system, and everything's like working as a result of that, right? And then that energy comes out in my eyes and my heart and my creativity, and you know what I mean? Like I'm kind of having that image. But the other thing that was fascinating about this vision of myself is that I think I may have mentioned to you that years ago I traveled and I had a session with, what's the guy's name? He can't remember what his name is right now, but he did past life regression and decided to explore because he wanted to know what's the world like in between death. So he would do past life regression, then he'd regress you into your death, and then who meets you at your death and where do you go? So he did these studies there. Michael Newton maybe was his name. And I did a session with him. And in that session, I was standing as I was like spirit standing above, looking at my incarnated body in like a glass case. Wow. And seeing myself. And I mean, it was beautiful. Like my genetically designed body, they're genetically designed, untouched from the karma.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember, and like this naked body laying there, and it wasn't like I was even looking at the naked sexy bits, but just like this nakedness and just the beauty and the love I had for it. And what was amazing was, so I had this vision the other day, and then I told Salila about it. And when I was telling Salila about it and trying to describe what it looked like, it was like, oh, it looked like that vision that I had of me before incarnated. And just now, as I was telling you, which is why I wanted to tell the story again, I realized when I said that statement of me before the karma of the incarnation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just astounding.
That is astounding. I mean, the image alone before the karma is just like earth-shaking.
Yeah. And I've been doing, just one other thing I'm realizing. So I've been doing this little regressive things with my clients. I kind of made it up, but I know a bunch of people do a lot of similar things. So somebody will be talking about a very stuck place where they are in their life in an intense situation. And I get them to tell me it, and then I get them to, okay, now forget the story. Now let's just go back to the body, and then we trace the body. How familiar is that feeling in the body? How far back does it go? Then we go to childhood. Now we're in childhood. What's the day, describe the situation. Where are you? What are you feeling? What's the situation? And then I say, now enter into the scene, make eye contact, introduce yourself, explain that you've crossed these time and space barriers and you're here for your younger self and you've got magical powers and you can do anything. You just want to know what they need. And I call it the big ask, that nobody asked us what we needed. They tell us what we need, and we do child work where we're telling our child they need to get out of the house, but we don't ask the child what it needs.
Right, absolutely.
And then when what they need, I'll just make up an example. Let's say the 4-year-old is being beaten by the mother. And what needs the mother to stop, but can't imagine, but wouldn't be able to see, the magic wand wouldn't work because there's too much entrenchment. So I move the magic wand to go up to the mother's grandparents' grandparents.
Wow.
And to see them whole and healthy, wave the magic wand on them, see them, then they get whole and healthy and they have children and then they have the children and they have children. Right. And then what I say, and this is the part that kind of triggered me, was then those are the people who your mother was birthed into that world. And then I say these things and I'm just kind of understanding, this is the click for me about our conversation. And then I always say, she might not look the same. She might not sound the same. She might not dress the same. And it's that morphing. I'm realizing that's the karma that she's picked up along the way.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful, there's beautiful images, that beautiful exercise there.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get that written.
It goes many levels deep at once.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to get, I've started this blog called Therapy Toolbox.
What a great name.
And I did my Mouse in the Church was my first entry, and I'm just dedicated to, what I'm going to try to do is once a week, load up one of these things that I do. And some of them, some of them are going to be, more extensive than others of them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's my.
Well, you are firing on all cylinders, as they say.
Yes, and I need not be thwarted when I go back home.
No, you need not be thwarted. Does that have to go that way?
Yeah.
Was that a yawn? Am I keeping you awake?
No, it's very, very interesting. I started yawning a week before I came to Hawaii. Huh. And a weird kind of yawn where most of the yawns are just in my upper jaw and like sinus eyes. They don't go down to the lower jaw where the mouth opens wide. It's just something keeps happening in the upper. Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
Curious.
Yeah.
Well, when you get back, feel free to reach out as you need, if you need a good ear to listen or whatever you need.
That would be really good. Yeah, I think that would be really good. I want to keep up. Yeah.
I know you have plenty of support, and I'm just a piece of that. But anytime you need anything, you just let me know.
Well, my plenty of support, I could definitely count on. There's you, Salila, and Shane Doing. That's my core. And then in the outside, there's Shane, Bruce, and Marilyn. But you three are the I am